Sn0w, welcome to the SAINTCON hallway.
Thank you.
How's it going?
It's going good. It's been a great week.
Thank you so much for keynoting for us.
Yes.
How was that experience? I know you're super popular and important and talking at all the things, but how was it doing it at home?
It was so much better doing it here. Like, there's something about looking out into the audience. I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I legit ran into that person at the grocery store last week. Or there's just people that's like, oh, I've seen you in my life 100 times. And it's just, I don't know, it's comforting, right? It feels good.
You're on stage, you come down, and they're like, you're my neighbor.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome.
I had a couple of those.
What has been your favorite thing of SAINTCON this year? Besides you keynoting, being on stage.
Yeah, the keynote was a huge, like, humbling experience. But I think the amount of work that went into the vault was fantastic. I would love to take credit for that, but it was 100% not me. That was JC, Kyle, mostly like just busting their asses. And then also we had help from Skylar and Davis. So I think how smooth that went was just really nice.
Awesome. Yeah, set up. Everything's rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
We talked to JC in depth about it yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah, the vault is always a fan favorite.
Yes, it is so fun. So if you've never been to SAINTCON and you want to come, obviously come. But if you're interested in physical security, it is the perfect place to come and try, because where else are you going to get the opportunity to break into like 4 commercial doors that change every day? Like, it's something that you just don't have the opportunity to. And I highly
legally
encourage it. Yes, that's the word I was missing. But super, really important, right? Because it's just something that I hear a lot of people, I want to get into physical security. How do I practice? And it's a little bit difficult, right? You can grab a lock and pick it in your hand, but there's something different than, like, it's a legit commercial door. Like, the amount of like production that went into these bad boys, like, they're legit.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, highly recommend you come and mess with it and break into things. Non-destructively, of course.
Yeah.
What is something that people don't know about you?
Ooh, that's a good question. What do people not know about me? I'm going to think of 100 things the second I step away. Maybe it was the fact that I was a special effects makeup artist for a while. I don't know if many people know that. I did a lot of freelance work. I worked on some very low budget college and indie movies that if anyone has seen, I will highly, highly, highly judge them for. They were that bad. But
are you credited on them? We can look these up on IMDb?
No, actually I'm not, on purpose, because it was when I was learning and I knew it wasn't good. Like, that's how bad
So
it
you're
was.
making it like, this is not good?
Yeah. I'm like, what's my pen name here? Sn0w, no. But it's something I want to pick up more. And every year around this time, around Halloween time, I'm like, oh, it'd be awesome to like bust out this badass costume. And I never have time. October is my busiest month of the year. So.
The kids aren't asking you to give them prosthetic?
No. They have like me at their fingertips and they're like, can you buy me a clown mask? I'm like, I can make you a clown. Like, full blown, all the blood and guts and nope.
Awesome. How does Stephanie spend or would like to spend a day off?
Ooh, okay. There's a lot of things involved. So it has to involve being somewhere in a beach that's warm but not too hot, right?
But you live in Utah.
I know, but
I'm not saying vacation here.
Oh, come on. That's my day off.
So you jet set out.
I will.
You will.
San Diego's what, an hour flight?
Yeah.
Hour and a half?
Maybe hour and a half, yeah.
Hour and a half, yeah. Okay.
But getting to the airport's another hour and a half. That's 3 hours.
It's worth it. I'll wake up early so I can take a nap on the beach. That would be worth it.
All right.
All right, so a nap on the beach. The weather has to be like 77 degrees with a light breeze. I've thought this out.
That sounds pretty San Diego.
Yep. Nap on the beach followed by spa day. Just a spa day.
Now, what if I extend that into vacation? Now you can go anywhere.
Okay.
It's not just a day jet setting back and from Utah. You now can spend a week. Where's somewhere you just really want to go to relax?
Okay. I have somewhere I've wanted to go so bad for my entire life, and I haven't been yet, and that's Thailand. The food, the people, but the elephants. I want to just roll around in mud with a baby elephant. Like, that sounds like just perfection to me.
And they have is that the monkeys that are like stealing things from tourists?
Yes. Oh, they're assholes.
Taking your glasses
Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff?
I can learn from them, I'm sure.
That does sound
They
fun.
probably have some good skills.
Right. Well, after you go, you have to let me know how it is.
Yep.
What is a little thing, inexpensive or tiny, nothing that's significant, that makes you happy?
Something small that makes me happy. It has to be an object.
Not necessarily.
Okay, I'm going to say like a moment then, like an experience rather than it's just sitting on the couch with like my entire family, so my kids, husband, JC, and animals, and just decompressing. Like that moment is just amazing because I feel like we don't get as many of those as I would like, but when we all actually come together, it's like at the end of the long day, at the end of the long week, and we just watch, doesn't even matter what, but we're all there together. Like that to me is, that's my jam.
Family time together, mental energy low.
Yes.
Yeah, that does sound nice.
No computers, no emails. Yep.
Phones going off, bling, bling,
Yep.
bling,
No
bling.
phones.
Awesome. That sounds great. Is there a story that you can share from your storied career? You probably have to do the meta of it, right? That's maybe like, this was either the most satisfying one you did, or maybe the worst one, or one that was just different.
I got one.
'Kay.
It was the one that made me feel like a monster.
Okay.
That's where my head went.
Was this
for some reason.
some makeup?
No makeup. This was a physical break-in. Oh gosh. Okay, so I call this Luthi and Ethel story because that's who the two people I was interacting with reminded me of, but in their 60s.
From
I
I Love Lucy.
I
Yeah,
Love
like
Lucy, yeah.
putting the chocolates, coming off the conveyor belt.
Yes,
Okay.
like them, but like maybe in their mid-60s. So we had a client who's a large financial company. Like, we have this kind of remote office, like an hour and a half outside of like Manhattan, and nobody really goes there, but we're kind of concerned. And they left it very vague like that. I'm like, well, what are the concerns? Is your physical controls okay? Like, what are those concerns? They're like, we just want you to go out there and check it out. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I don't know how to pack for that, so I brought everything that could fit in the Pelican. And the only goals were to...
How big is this Pelican?
Oh, I have a lot, but the one I'm talking about for my physicals is like, oh man, I wish I knew the number. It's like the big, beefy, I have to pay a lot of money.
So like overweight charge.
100%. Yes.
Delta's like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, they're like...
Give me more money.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, here's my company index. Go.
What type of, I know I'm derailing you for a second. What type of things are in this Pelican?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I bring my badge printer in case the one that I make or if I can't find one isn't good.
So a full-size
badge printer.
Okay.
And then with that, you have to have all the accessories.
Sure,
so
the cards,
and
ink.
I have a whole thing just for different like plastic to put it in, or extenders or lanyards. Sometimes, depending on the gig, I'll bring my Cricut if I need to cut out vinyl.
You're making stickers and
yes,
logos.
Well, for lanyards and stuff, if they have a company branded lanyard that I can't get, I will bring my Cricut. And it gets arts and crafts.
So you got vinyl rolls in there of all colors. Iron on, I assume?
Yep, yeah.
So you have an iron or a hotel iron?
I rely on that one. That would be
it would have not
crazy.
have shocked me if you said I have an iron in there. Or a T-shirt press or something.
Yeah, no, not for these ones. And then I have all of my like picks and bypass tools and RFID stuff. Like, what else is there? Oh my gosh, I got
air wedges.
Yep, yeah, air wedges. I have my from you. My film. You're like, what did I give you?
Don't rope me into this.
Yep, I have my film. I have my under the door tool.
Yeah, under the
I
door.
Still need to find a way to make that more compact.
Yeah. Problem with those is when you get caught with an under door tool, it's harder to explain. Yeah.
I'm fishing for something. Like, that doesn't work.
I was unclogging the toilet. I lost my keys. In the toilet.
I need to try that just to see if it works.
I bet that would work.
It probably would on the right person who just doesn't want to deal with you.
Because if you say something like that and then try to hand it to me, I'm not touching it.
Yeah.
Right? Because
No.
security wants to confiscate your things.
Yeah.
But if you're like, I was trying to get my keys out of the toilet, would you take it from somebody?
Oh, hell no.
No way. Anyway, so you got this massive Pelican, all your things.
Yes.
Do you do bump keys?
I have them. I don't use them.
You have to know so much about it, right? You have to know what the lock is, how many pins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's...
Do you put those rubber washers around them?
No, I probably should. But I figure if I'm in a position where I'm using bump keys and they're loud, like, I mean, it's going to be loud. If I'm doing something where I'm picking, I have to make sure nobody's around or
Right.
anything like that. But I am a huge fan of bypassing rather
Yeah.
than actually picking.
Are
It's
you a
so
true
rare.
picker?
If I have the time and want to, like if I'm on a conference call, that's fun for me. Steve Reagan he said, what does he say? It's lock picking is a fidget spinner for hackers,
Right.
and that's 100% true because like that's the only time I honestly pick is if I'm on a conference call or I'm zoning out at my desk for a second. But on gigs, I will bypass or I will talk to someone way more than I'll lock pick.
I just always found that on any engagement, picking almost never really made sense.
No.
But a few times I rake and then
Okay.
pick the last two.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't
can see
true
that.
pick every pin. It's
No.
way too much effort.
Oh, yeah.
But if you rake it and then you reach in there, there's only two, I have a
feel it.
50-50 chance I get the right one first.
Yeah,
And then the second one and I get it.
Yeah.
So raking sometimes, but.
that's fair.
So I'm not a true picker. You talk to
Yeah.
like elite pickers and I'm like, oh, I rake it. And they're like, you're not a picker. Yeah, it's
If
true.
it gets the job done.
It's true.
Like, what's the definition of hacker, right?
But I
Like,
do love bypass tools.
Yes.
Freaking love. Because it just, they show so well.
Yes.
Like, oh, I just push this in here and the
Yeah.
door opens.
Yeah.
I put this air wedge next to the magnet
Yeah.
and it just popped open. And they're like, wait, what?
Yeah. My favorite is doing those on engagements, but then taking a client around with me after and making them do it. And they're like, oh, that was easy. I'm like, I know.
Right.
So that's fun.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to derail you.
No,
I was
you're good.
curious what's in your bag of tricks.
Yes.
Is there
A little
anything
bit
else
of-
noteworthy in that Pelican? That somebody else is like building their own B&E kit and they're like, I really should get one of these.
So I do have, okay, you know, like if you ever collect like baseball cards or anything like that, how you have those sheets where you can slide them in.
Yeah.
I have a binder full of different pre-made badges for different companies, and
clever.
behind them I have business cards
Clever.
that match that. So for some reason on the fly I need to change things up. I have kind of like a pre-kit ready to go. The business cards, one thing to know, I always put my real cell phone number. Every once in a while I'll have someone call me because of that business card or like maybe want to validate something or whatever. So I put my real information just in case.
Has anybody ever called it while you're standing there in front of them and your phone's going up?
Yep, one time I'm like, dude, is this you? Like he just, because I knew it was him because his face looked like, oh shit, like it worked. And then he just let me go, so that was fine.
I figured you'd have like a support person having the number call them so they can be like, yeah, she's dispatched here to do this thing.
So if it's my business cards, I'll put my number just because it makes a little bit more sense.
Right.
But I have sometimes a
home office number?
I'll have like a fake form created on a clipboard because that's like the social engineer's like
Yeah.
magic thing is a clipboard.
Metal clipboards,
Yep.
man.
But I'll put like the office logo and I'll put like office branch and then I'll put whoever I'm working with their phone number. I'm like, all right, if you get a call, you're answering as Bob today.
Right.
So yeah, I will put numbers for that. But I've only to this day had 2 people that have called those numbers. So it's kind of sad. Like I do all this effort, but it's better to have
Yeah.
and not need.
Good job for those 2 people.
Yeah.
So you have a Pokemon collection
Yes.
of badges and business cards.
Yes. Love it.
And so you're sitting around on like a Tuesday, you're back from SAINTCON, you're like, I need to make another badge.
Yeah. Yeah, or if I see one posted online, like, well, I guess it's been a while now, but like Microsoft updated theirs. But the cool thing about like badges like Microsoft is they have different colors that mean different things, which some people
I didn't know
don't.
that.
Yeah, some people don't know. So like, at least their old ones do. I need to see if their new ones do. I'm sure they would. But like blue's like a regular employee. I'm just throwing these out there. That's not for sure. Please look it up. Green might mean they're like IT. So that's kind of a cool thing if you're doing badge replication is don't just find one badge and find as many as you can to see if there are deltas. And then you kind of got to go try to figure out what those deltas are. And if you don't know, print them both or print however many you can. And then see what you need to use on day of, or risk it and see what happens.
All right, I gotta rein myself back in instead of the speaker. You were telling me a story, and
Yes.
I way sidetracked you only because I was super interested.
Yes.
So we have our I Love Lucy conglomerate.
Yes.
You have your big giant pelican, your bag of tricks.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yep. Okay, so I'm on the plane, I'm heading there, I land, and the client's like, all right, we kind of talked about scope, and we're going to kind of cut it back a little bit. Instead of doing, like, all of the things, we just want to see if, one, you can get into the back. They called it the back server room. It was literally just like a break room with like a computer in the corner.
The only server.
Yeah, yep. And then they wanted to see if I could get the employees to plug in a USB and then just open a file. Didn't matter what it was.
No actual payload.
No.
Just proof of concept.
Yeah. So what we did for that proof of concept, though, is we made an executable that was just a beacon. So it just checked into our server, but it looked like a PDF. And so that's something we've used pretty often. And so anyways, I get there, and when I tried to do OSINT on it, I couldn't find a lot of information. I couldn't find any employees that worked there.
They're not on the gram?
No, they were not at all. And so I'm doing all this research. I'm like, I can't even tell what this office is for because, I mean, it's a large company. They have, offices all over the country. And this one, it wasn't listed anywhere. I'm like, okay, that's weird. So I show up, and it's like this really old business complex. And I kind of do my walk around, but I'm like, well, I'm not, breaking in. So it's more of just going in and talking. And I kind of had to wing it a bit because I couldn't find anything on OSINT, and my only goals were to really interact with people. And so I'm like, okay, I'll go in from an auditing perspective.
Were you by yourself?
Yes.
Okay, so you couldn't send somebody in ahead of time to fake deliver to the wrong address or anything to scope it out. So you're walking in, you have to be the initial and the end and make this happen.
Yeah, pretty much all in one go, for these ones, because it's such a small location.
Small that person's going to know.
Yeah. And so I walk in, and it smelled like Grandma's house. Fresh baked cookies,
Oh, that's a better smell than I was thinking.
Oh, yeah, okay. So I guess different phases of Grandma's house. The good phases.
Fair.
The good phases.
Cookies, okay. Nice and warm and inviting.
Yes, just there was literally
wood paneling on the wall?
There was.
Okay.
And there was.
I'm visioning this already. Okay.
There was a crochet blanket over.
Oh my gosh. Is there a doily sitting on somewhere?
Oh my God. Probably, but not that I can remember. I wouldn't be surprised, but I can't remember.
Okay.
So I'm walking, I'm like, is this the right place? I actually had to double check. And so I walk up, and there's two sweet older ladies in their 60s, and
Ethel and Lucy. Or do they come later?
No, that's them.
Okay.
And that's it. That's it, and that's them. And so I confirm the address because I'm like, this can't be it. This huge financial company, and this is what they got. And they're like, oh, what can we help you with? Do you have a bill to pay? Trying to figure out why I was there. I'm like, oh, the office sent me. I just need to check the computers, make sure they're working good for you. Here we've had some bad Wi-Fi speeds, which everyone's had. That one works so good because.
Is your internet running slow?
Yeah.
Always.
Yes, always.
Doesn't matter. There's 15 agents on that host. It's the internet. Yeah.
Yep. So they asked me my name, but not to verify me, but just to just because they were sweethearts.
They want to call you by your name and hon.
Yeah. Yeah. And so they bring me to the back, and I'm sitting right next to the room I need to be in. So I said, okay, well, I just need to set up some stuff on my computer really fast, and then I'll just kind of walk around and let you know if I need anything. And so I'm sitting there. I pull up on my email and just kind of scoping out the place, but they were bombarding me in my face, are you hungry? Where did you drive in from? And so then they're like, oh, it's cold. Can we make soup? I'm like, no, I gotta go.
What kind of soup?
Well, that's the next part of the story.
Okay.
Then they start, one of them's like, well, we have some in the fridge we can heat up. I'm like, oh, I'm not hungry, thank you, though. And then they start going through the fridge. And as they're going through the fridge, I'm like, okay, that's gonna be my cue to go into the next room. I'm like, all right, I'll be right back. And so I'm in this other room, taking selfies pretty much of everything. I plugged my USB into that computer because that was the only thing they said I could do. Took pictures of it just as proof. And as I'm doing that, they started bickering over if split pea or chicken noodle was the best one that I would like, even though I had said no 100 times, which just, my head went right back to my Italian Nana, that's exactly what you do. You say no, that's not an option. Yeah. You are eating.
How far did you drive? You're from the home office? You're getting some split pea food.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And so I walk back in there, and they both decide to make me both to see which I like better. So they're having a cook-off almost, a reheat cook-off. And
which one's better?
Chicken noodle.
Oh, you actually tried them?
Oh, no. I'm thinking Jamal. I kept telling them no. I was also
I was picturing you sitting there eating both while they're both staring at you. Which one? Did we get it right?
Oh gosh, no. Also because I didn't know how long they were in the fridge for, so I
that's
didn't want
fair.
to risk that.
I got a flight tomorrow. I don't want to be wrecked on a plane.
No, that's the worst. So
That soup was
I
probably
do-
good, though. They probably made it at their house.
Probably was.
You
But
probably
I,
missed an opportunity for some
Yeah.
Ethel and Lucy
Yeah.
soup.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go back.
Probably.
Okay, sorry.
Okay,
go
so
ahead.
I got the first goal done, and the second one was to get them to plug in the USB and open up this file. And so the whole time I'm like, I can do it. It's going to be easy, but I don't want to. Like, I just felt like a monster. Like, it just didn't feel right. And so finally, I'm like, I got to do it. I only have 2 objectives. I got to do it and get out of here. Like, I do have a flight to catch tonight. And so finally, I went through whatever spiel that they probably weren't even listening to or cared about, and like, you just need you to, print this file off for me. That's kind of my go-to.
You could have said whatever pretext you wanted.
Anything.
They're just happy to help you
I know.
and hopefully have you try some of this soup.
So as they're heating up the soup, one of them goes and plugs in the USB, and like, I think it was Malwarebytes pops up. I'm like, oh shit. And they're like, oh, it's like detecting a virus. I'm like, oh. I'm like, yeah, it's crazy, this USB. Like, I washed it. Like, I was just, like, the most, like, stupid things that I would never say just came out of my mouth. And she's like, oh, honey, that's fine. And she just, like, accepts it. And, it, like, was...
You washed it? I like it. I mean,
It was so bad. That was so bad. That
like
was
it.
so bad. I've said a lot of bad things that was up there.
You guys got to repack that payload. So
Yeah.
it is not a signature match on Malwarebytes.
Yeah.
But,
Oh,
I mean,
no.
I guess it does test they have a system.
Yes, so that was good to see that it caught that. So there were a lot of interesting things in that report, but it turns out later on when I went back and I was talking to the CISO, I'm like, okay, you got to tell me what's going on. Like, do people actually go in this office, and is this a concern? And it turns out it was like the CFO's grandma just kind of wanted a job,
Oh,
and
man.
they just found some space and let her and her best friend just hang out.
And they're like, did you try the soup? Is that the CFO?
Oh, I'm so glad I didn't ask, because I would feel even more like a monster. Like, no, I couldn't do it.
Did you put them on the report as Ethel and Lucy?
No. I did bring
Employee
it up to
A,
the client,
Ethel.
and he couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, they were the sweetest people, but man, that one tested me as a professional. That was hard.
So should I reframe this? Sn0w shows up, remote USA, wrecks the trust and integrity of 2 old grandmas, refuses their soup, puts them in a report, and goes home.
I mean, that's technically.
I know, that's probably a little harsher than it.
But yeah, that one hurt. I've only had 2 times where I've done testing where I felt like a monster after, and that was it.
Wow.
That was it.
That's a good story. I
It's so
can
random, too.
picture this office,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
want to try the soup.
I wonder if they're still there. It's probably been like 4 years now.
They're probably still there. They will be till they're not.
Yeah. Yep. That was rough.
Yeah. Well, that sounds great. Well, I appreciate you walking me through that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to chat about?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Sometimes I got you here. I just thought I'd leave it open-ended.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Well, we are briefly about the social engineering community.
Oh, yes. Let's do that.
Yes.
We were
okay.
both there.
You were. Couldn't have made it happen without you.
You guys were there longer than I was. So,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. Okay, so it took a village to run a village.
It
That's
took
kind of
it
what
took
I've
a
been
village.
saying.
That's, yeah. True.
100%. So last August was our first year running it. I didn't know how smoothly it was going to go, right? This was brand new to all of us, coming in to fill these big shoes. Like, it's the most popular village at DEF CON, hands down. In my mind, like, there's not going to be a line. There's going to be 2 people in the audience. Right. Half our contestants aren't going to show. And I remember the first morning, the goon came in, he's like, all right, I got to open the doors because, like, we're scrambling to, like, get ready.
Right.
And the
we were
doors
not ready
opened.
right at the start.
No.
We hadn't even done a test call.
Nope.
It was a mess. We were not ready.
And he opened the door, and the room just, people were pouring in. And, like, I trying to, like, hold back emotions. I'm like, oh, my God, there's actually people here. And not only that is, he's like, all right, I got cut off. There's a line now. And we peeked outside, and the line went all the way down
To the back wall and started rapping,
yes.
right?
Yeah, it was insane. I think we had we almost constantly, from what I heard, had like a line of 100 people just to get in. And then we start the first call. I'm like, oh my God, like what if this doesn't work?
Yeah.
That was terrifying.
So I was not surprised of that first line.
Okay.
I didn't have that same moment you did.
Yeah.
Because we're living off past years.
That's fair.
But it was that first call. Is this going to work? I was stressing.
Yep.
Is this actually going to work? And then after that's going, to me, it was after lunch and still having a line.
Yeah.
Because word's going to get out if this thing is good or you should get out of this line because this is trash.
Yep.
And instead, it was just sustained and it didn't stop. And every single person I'm talking to is like, this is amazing. Giphy's on point, all these things. And I'm like, dude, we barely got a proof of concept of these working. We barely have this clock thing figured out. We barely. Yep. I was surprised. I kept telling JC, like, he's like, how's it going? I'm like, it's going better than it should be.
Yeah. That it was so surreal, like how many things just came into place. And I honestly think it's because of the people that were helping and like they had a passion for it and they wanted it to succeed. I feel like if you just kind of threw a couple people like, yeah, let's see what happens. But like every person in there that wanted to make it happen, like just poured their heart and soul into it. And man, that made such a difference.
Yeah. To be clear, I mean, that wasn't the first time you set up the vault, or not. I call it the vault. Sorry. Yeah, it's not the first time you set up that soundproof booth.
True. It was
lived in your house.
It was in my garage for a couple of months.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, so there's prep.
Yes.
There's setup. There's procurement. There's judges. There's pretext coaching with people. There's submissions. There's deadlines. There's research. There's callers. There's random people at lunch. We're just signing up.
Yep.
Let alone volunteers. Let alone the money sunk.
Yes.
Let alone FedEx screwing us for thousands of dollars to load gear in out.
Yep. That was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprise.
So, big surprise. So, like, we obviously couldn't have done it without our sponsors because that money helped tremendously. And then the surprise bill, which we didn't really talk about, really hurt. Yeah. We thought it was a flat fee in FedEx.
What were you thinking? $250
They said $250, and then they said $250 per move in and then per move out.
But it was like per pound or something.
Yeah,
and it ended up being like $6,000 or something insane.
$7,253.
Oh my gosh! I think we need to quit our jobs and work at FedEx.
I know. There was at one point they're like, yeah, we charge like $25 like per additional item, like to move on to the truck. And I was like, I left my backpack there, not even thinking anything.
$25.
I'm like, now every time I look at the backpack, I'm like, stupid fucking backpack. Sorry, I'm so mad.
$25 more in this backpack.
Yes, so that was very unexpected and not fun. But in general, overall, I'm so excited with how it went, and I cannot wait for next year and to see what comes.
Yeah, I'm a little scared of JC's ideas.
Yeah, you should be.
I'm not going to say any here because I'm going to let him deal with any actual release, but he's giving me things that he wants to pull off, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I don't think that guy's mind stops.
No. Well, you should see us, like, so when we, like, take breaks, we take a lot of breaks and do, like, a walk around the neighborhood just to get away from the computers. And we take turns with crazy ideas. His are a lot more crazy, but I'm like, we need to add this and this and this. And he's like, yeah, but we should also do this and this and this. And we're, like, telling each other that we're crazy. I'm like, oh, we both have issues. But, yeah, he's another level.
Awesome. Last question I have for you.
Okay.
You have to hang up your Pelican. You have to hang up your computer.
Okay.
Hang up, you're done. Money's not an object. What do you do?
Ooh, okay.
We already know your day visits on the beach in San Diego.
Yeah.
We already know your vacation is in Thailand.
Yep.
What are we doing with just no longer grind computers and impersonating and destroying old grandmas and refusing their soup?
Okay, so it's kind of twofold. So I want to go to culinary school.
Okay.
But with that, like, I want to just take random classes, like community colleges, and just learn different shit. But something JC and I talk about all the time is just going to school and opening up a food truck or a restaurant or something like that. We both love to cook and bake. And
so he said the same thing.
And
I wanted to make sure I asked you that same question because I was really curious if they aligned.
Yes. Oh, thank God. That'd be awkward if it
did. Yeah, food truck. He even threw down an idea.
He's like, this is our 20-year plan. I'm like, what?
Brenner food truck.
Yes,
he threw down.
That's a new one. We like that one.
So, all right. Well, that's impressive. They actually exist. Well, I'm excited to see your future and you and Slick just welding and making
Yes.
dinner from a food truck. Thank you for your time talking to me in the
Yes.
SAINTCON hallway.
Thank you for having me.